Hey, Katie.
Hey, T.
Hey.
Hi.
I was like messing with my microphone. It's like not in a good place today, but it's fine.
I liked how you had it up for a little bit because I was like, that's actually kind of smart.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. Instead
Okay.
of like, because I feel like sometimes when it's like
right in your face,
I like turned.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I just did, and I just hit my
Completely
elbow on it, and now my elbow hurts, and it's raining, and it's thundering.
It's like perfect reading weather.
Honestly, it is. The podcast's over. I want to go home now.
Me too.
I
am home, but
like I'm gonna have to go home and cook dinner.
We have no food in this household, so
I
did just eat chicken.
Pieces of chicken.
I ate chicken. Oh my god, let's talk about Chick-fil-A for a second. So I normally get a number one classic with American cheese and extra pickles. But I was like, you know what? I'm not really feeling a chicken sandwich today. I want the chicken nuggets. Where the fuck have I been? Where I've been sleeping on these chicken nuggets from fucking like where the fuck have I been? I'm so disappointed in myself.
Katie.
I didn't breathe. I wanted more. I wanted to go back out and get more.
They're so good.
They're so fucking good.
I feel like, I mean, like the last few times I feel like I've got chicken sandwiches with you because it's been like before the movies.
Yeah.
And it's just easier to like
pop them in. Yeah.
Yeah, but the nuggets are so good.
So good.
Well, okay. So when do you want to go to Chick-fil-A?
Whatever.
Okay.
I have my Diet Coke too still, so, you know. And I'm not going to lie.
Nice of you to not think of me.
It's all about Tom. You should have told Tom you wanted some because he picked it up for me. I will fight anybody who says otherwise, but Chick-fil-A has the best Diet Cokes. Besides 7-Eleven, I have found that maybe it's just a specific 7-Eleven, but there is one by our in-laws' house. Mm-hmm. The 7-Eleven there has the best Diet Coke syrup.
I've never had it from there.
It's so fucking good. Like circa 2 years ago when I was running all in the summer, I would literally finish a run and walk over to the 7-Eleven and be like, I'm going to get myself a Diet Coke.
Obviously. I mean, I do agree Chick-fil-A does have really good Diet Coke. I am a very big McDonald's Diet Coke girl. I feel like mostly because like I'll get French fries and then get a Diet Coke. And like obviously the McDonald's French fries are, I think, better than Chick-fil-A's. Like I love waffle fries, but like
I would rather a French fry as well.
Wendy's also has like decent Diet Cokes, but
I'm not a big McDonald's fan for Diet Cokes.
McDonald's?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I had one the other day and I was very unimpressed.
Guys, Katie's off the podcast.
I don't know. Maybe Teresa is.
Katie, I'd like to see you try. 90% of these podcasts are me just talking to myself. Sometimes Katie will literally like walk away to take a phone call and she'll be like, just and like
I did that once and Teresa no, you're right, it's happened a couple times. Purpose of having children.
Yeah, and it's honestly like just me like rambling. But it's funny
Teresa
because
could do this alone. I'd be like, I have 5 sentences and now I'm done.
Well, I was like, it's funny, like when you walked away that one day I was like, oh my god, like what do I say? But
you were
90%, no, but like 90% of the ones when you're sitting next to me, I never let you get a word in. So I don't know why I was so shy. Like when you got up, I was like, oh my god,
I'm by myself. What do I do?
We didn't have
maybe just need either a camera so
I need cameras so I could stare at myself.
Wait. We went to Orange Theory together the other day. And I like the coaches all there that I've had so far. But Teresa and I finally got to go together to this one in particular. And we were both obviously like deceased. Like we're both not in the shape that we used to be once upon a time. So we were doing, of course, like one of the hardest workouts we both decided to sign up for. And she paused for a few minutes, but there's obviously like a mirror in front of her. And the coach literally looked at Teresa. He was like, oh, I didn't think you were going to start. You're just going to keep staring at yourself. And I was like, oh my God, do you know who she is? And he goes, oh, no, but I guess I do now.
I mean, when you're this beautiful.
Okay. You can't, no one can, again, anyone who is either like on calls, on like Teams meetings, you always stare at yourself in the fucking camera. Like, because I feel like that's the time that I'm going to do something so fucking stupid. Mm-hmm. Or there's going to be like something in my teeth. Or a booger hanging out of my nose. Yeah. Or I'm going to do something so fucking outrageous I would never think to do in like a normal in-person meeting, but I'm going to do it on a camera. Yeah. So I stare at myself to make sure I'm like...
That you're like not looking like an idiot.
Yeah, like I'm in control. Yeah. Like, okay, like you look all right. Like you're not like a disheveled mess. Like what's in the background.
That's why like even like when I'm like filming a TikTok, like I'm always like touching my hair while I'm doing it because I'm like, oh my God, like that piece is sticking up. Like I'm like trying to like, you know.
Like who's this messy individual?
Yeah.
Wait, it's me. Wait. I'm always messy.
I know, honestly, like if you ever seen a picture or video of me and I look good, it's not real. Anyway.
Anywho, something got delivered. I don't know what it is.
Exciting.
I know. I love
Here?
when there's surprise mail. Yeah. I wonder if it's we did get a package sent to us.
I say we are expecting a package, and Tessa Bailey's. She didn't say when she was sending it.
No,
but
so maybe I'll check it.
Okay, after.
Yeah.
Not right now, because we both have to talk about.
We both have to talk about this book.
The book being Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonam-Young. This is her third.
This is her third. I've only ever read one, and this is it.
Oh, no.
No? Did I read another one?
You did.
What did I read?
But you guys, Next of Kin.
I did read that.
And did you read the second?
No, I read the second one.
Okay, so I've read all three, but I liked the first two.
I remember you saying the second one was better than the first. We both enjoyed the first.
Oh yeah, we do this all the time when we start like ranking things. It doesn't mean that like our least favorite is bad. It just means it's our least favorite. But I feel like reading her first and then reading this one, you can see like how much like her writing has improved, and like I think how her like storytelling has improved. I just felt like this was just the bee's knees.
I'm stroking it because it was a good one.
Yes, the first one was Next of Kin. The second one was Next to You, and then Out on a Limb is her third book. The first two are like interconnected standalones. I feel like there was like a third friend, so I thought this was kind of a continuation. Now that you're saying all this,
now I'm understanding and remembering.
But it's not. So I don't know if she ever plans on writing a different Next of Kin
Didn't she
novel?
say she started writing this either right after her pregnancy or before, like during the pregnancy?
Yeah.
So probably just like, I feel like she probably like got an idea and ran with it. So maybe we are getting a third.
And I mean, I'm very happy with it. So anyway, Out on a Limb follows Winifred, aka Win, aka Fred. And Bo, sorry, he's very important. Bo, aka Robert, aka Robbie.
Yes.
They all have multiple names. And they have a one-night stand on Halloween at her best friend Sarah's house. And it's like the best sexual experience of her life. They both are dealing with like disabilities. He had bone cancer, and he had to have half of his leg amputated. She was born with a baby hand, I believe is what she refers to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Katie gave me a look.
I gave her a look. I was like, what are you about to say?
She calls it her baby hand.
She does. She does call it her baby hand.
And they were both dressed up. I mean, it's obviously a big part of the book, but it's funny because the reason why they meet is they were both dressed as pirates.
Yes.
She has a hook for a hand. He has a peg leg. And that's kind of how they like start bantering. The banter is very good. The banter is very good. It's the best sexual experience of her life.
Yes. They
don't have condoms, but she's on birth control. So like, he's like, I haven't had sex since I've had this thing amputated, so I'm clean. And she's like, I haven't had sex in a while. She was in an abusive relationship prior. So they do it. And that birth control is only 99.9% effective because my girl Wynn gets pregnant.
She does get pregnant.
So she tells our guy Bo, and he is like beside himself with joy. He didn't think of freezing his sperm before his like chemo. So he kind of assumed that maybe he'd never be able to have kids, that like the chemo and radiation would have like killed off his sperm. But he has at least one good swimmer. Spoiler alert, if you didn't finish the book, he has plenty of good swimmers.
Yes. Many a swimmer.
Many a swimmer that boy has. But the story follows the two of them like through the pregnancy, them getting to know each other, becoming friends, and the end is the baby's not born until like the last chapter.
Literally.
So that's the synopsis.
And I would say let's just start out with like the pregnancy trope. This is not a favorite of ours at all.
I've been really enjoying them though. I feel like I've been reading really good ones. That's my point of this. I don't like a surprise pregnancy trope. However, Elsie Silver and both Hannah Bonam-Young did a phenomenal fucking job with it. Yeah. Like I thoroughly salivated and devoured the tropes in those two books. I think that I like a pregnancy trope book if the plot is about the pregnancy. I don't like when it's brought in like last minute as a way to get the couple back together or like used as like a plot device, like to break. I like it when it's like the whole book is about her being pregnant. So like I like it.
I also liked that this was like, I'd call it like a bit more mature read. Like, but I mean, again, I understand like sometimes surprise pregnancies aren't always like happy, and like maybe the significant other, whether it's the female or the male, maybe might not be the most excited at first, but like I enjoyed their journey. Obviously, like they both like are attracted towards one another, and like they're both happy to help out, but like he stepped right up to the fucking plate. Like he is the goal for every guy that like if you ever get knocked up, like that's the guy you want to be knocked up with as well. Like he was like the guy on the pedestal that you're like, no man can live up to this expectation, but I'm going to certainly try.
Right.
But I like really enjoyed the storyline, and I liked that like you kind of like go through a lot of like you go through everything with them together, like both of them being like having these disabilities. Like it shows you that there's life outside of a disability.
Yes. Like, right. That's the thing too. The book was almost like their disability wasn't really like a plot point. Like it wasn't like you like it was basically kind of to show that like even like in spite of these, like we're still humans, normal
human
people,
beings,
like experiencing like normal life, and like yes, obviously. I mean, so Wynn's whole thing is like her summer camp, and she's a swimmer, and she like runs into somebody that she used to work with who is coaching a little boy who also has like a defect. I don't know.
I don't know if there's a correct term for it.
I don't want to keep calling it baby hand, but I feel like that is the term that was used in the book, and I'm sorry because I know that's very ignorant, but
I think honestly it's like a hand deformity.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep calling it her baby hand. And honestly, it's cute
hand deformities.
It's cute as fuck.
It is really cute.
As said by Bo and her. So whatever. So she, her goal was to start a summer camp for children who have disabilities and kind of showing them ways that they can like overcome them. And showing that they can do anything that anybody else can do, like in spite of these, like, where a lot of people maybe like, she said, she's a great swimmer. And people be like, oh my God, it's so crazy that you're a great swimmer, even with your hand. And she's like, my hand is not going to hold me back. Like I'm a great swimmer, period.
Yes.
Like, she does end up getting to open her camp, and it's like really nice. Yeah. But I think like that's the whole point of the book, that even though like he lost a leg, like he can still be a normal person in society, functioning. Like he can have this beautiful, fulfilling life. Like your disabilities don't define you.
Correct.
That's the moral of the story.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It was such a great story. And like,
I love how like they like make jokes about it. And like it just felt like so like normal.
Yeah.
And like real life.
Yes. I don't know. I really liked it. I really liked Sarah and Caleb also. I thought the whole Dungeon and Dragon thing, I was pissing my fucking pants. Like what a fucking nerd. And like I think the whole like, I saw a couple comments that like the ex of Caleb's, not Caleb's, Bo's ex is Caleb's sister.
Yes.
Like they were like kind of like annoyed about that aspect, but like I just think again, like as you get older, you're going to, if you aren't in a relationship at a certain point, like people come, I don't want to say it with baggage always, but like there's gonna be a string probably of exes behind you. Some are a little bit messier than others. Again, like I felt like this was a story that actually encaptured like life.
Yes.
Like you don't just like break up with people and then you don't like they're either great friends because you can put it past you and remain friendly, because a lot of times that's not the case.
No.
Or like there is no past and you have no exes, which also like is very much not the case. Like people have other people attached to them whether they want them there or not.
Yes. And I like how, so in Wynn's case, she had like an emotionally abusive ex.
Yeah.
And it didn't like deter her from like opening up to Bo, but it did like kind of hold her back from like expressing like her true feelings for him. And she kind of second guessed herself a little bit in the beginning, because she was like, I don't want to put too much faith in a person that I don't even know, because I did that once before and it backfired.
But again, that's very
normal.
That's like protecting yourself.
Yes. And then in Bo's case with Cora, I was like kind of like, I was like, oh my God, I really hope that like it's not gonna be some like weird dramatic thing where she's gonna like show up and like Wynn was like worried the whole time that Bo was still in love with Cora, where like as the reader you're just like rolling your eyes because it's so
like, honey, no, he's
evident that he's like in love with her. And but it's like dealt with so maturely. Like he's like, no, he's like, the day that you moved in, I called her to kind of get that closure. So they were like on and off for like years. It seemed like very toxic, like where he was kind of holding on like a little bit tighter than she was, but they kept getting back together. And then when he got his cancer diagnosis, he called her. They weren't together at the time. She was there for him through his treatments. And then eventually, I think it was when he had the amputation done, she just like kind of ghosted him.
Yeah.
And he was like
what the okay?
Like, yeah, but he like never had anything bad to say about her. He was like, she shouldn't have even supported me to begin with. I kind of like just needed somebody, and I put too much pressure on her, and she was like a good person trying to be there for me, and like it just wasn't it. So he calls Cora like early on. It's off page, and has this like closure, and she's like, I'm happy for you, and it's like very like mature and like whatever. They both have like moved on, which again I think is like very realistic and just like healthy. I think more people need to probably have those conversations with exes. Yeah. I also like, you guys know I'm a friends to lovers lover. And like this book is like 90% friends, like 10% lovers.
But the lover parts are really good.
Right. No, yeah, I'm not saying that. Like, I hope that doesn't deter people from reading it.
No, it's because I think, I don't want to say this book is different. So I don't want to be like that kind of a person, but like.
But no, I mean, it's okay to say that.
I think it's a little, I think a lot of things are just differently. It's different. Like, yes, they're friends, but like, it's more than just like, oh, we've been friends and now like it's moving into like a lover's territory. Like, it's a forced proximity type of trope where like they're both agreeing to do something. They're both attracted to each other, which like, okay. Like the first time I saw my husband, like I looked at him, I was like, yeah, you're hot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're allowed to look at someone and, like, find an attraction with them. Like, I think that they're hot or good looking or whatever the case might be. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't necessarily mean that, like, you want to be with the other person. So, and I think that's what, like, was kind of nice about it. Like, it literally started as, like, an attraction. Obviously, they had sex. And, like, okay, now we're both going to step up to the plate because we both want to be parents to this child that's coming. Yeah. And we're going to try to make it work. So, like, she's right. Like, she kind of, like, jokes. She's like, oh, the business transaction. But, like, it kind of started off that way. They just, again, had that attraction going for each other. Right. And then they were like, maybe we should try to be friends. Yeah. Like, and also, like, if we're going to co-parent, then we should, like, be friends and, like, know each other. Because, like, how are we going to make this work if we don't know anything about each other? They're being mature adults in the situation. So, like, yes, it's friends to lovers. But I think there's just, like, a different, like, spin on it. You get to, like, see them like making these like deep connections like with each other, and then it's fun too like watching them like try to like deny their feelings. 100%. She'll be like, why is he looking at me like that, like, with like heat in his eyes, and I'm like, girl, he wants to take your fucking clothes off. And like in the beginning, like okay, like when their first encounter, when she sees his wiener for the first time, oh my god, yeah, it's so funny. She's just like staring at it, and she goes, there's just so much I haven't done, you know. And he goes, what? She goes, I wanted to travel, maybe have kids, learn how to make my own candles. I still haven't watched all 9 seasons of The Office. I just thought I had more time. And he goes, are you implying that this dick is going to murder me? Yes. Do your hands get tired holding it while you pee? And he goes, I'm going to leave. She's like, no, don't leave. I'll solve it. It's not a Rubik's Cube. It's my penis. Can you not say penis? It's not a sexy word. But yeah, like, I like love the banter. Like, it's relatable, like, for me, because I'm like the least sexy person. Like, it's the same. I have no idea what I'm doing. So, like, that would be me. Like, and that's she'd be like, what do you expect me to do with that thing? 100%. But I also like that she, like, well, first off, okay, you can tell that Hannah must be close to, like, must be hovering around the same age group that you or I am. Yeah. The first thing I figured that out with was my thin eyebrows from Merciless Plucking. Yeah. Teenagers. I was like, oh, she's definitely, like, a fucking millennial. Yeah. Here we go. Wait, but I was dying since she was, like... I think she's late 20s because he turns 30. Okay. But she, like, I don't know, she hit home with a lot of things. Like, I, like most women my age, have learned to hate myself just enough to appease others. If you're too fond of how you look, you're told you'll be unlikable, labeled as self-involved, egotistical, or stuck up. And I'm like, that's so fucking true. Like, I hate how, like, sorry, I also was just open to that. Really? Like, we're in this world where, like, we're trying to, like, now promote, like, self-positive image, right? And, like, being comfortable in your own skin. We come from... So if you're anywhere between the ages of, like, probably, like, 28 to maybe, like, 38, I'd say. Yeah. Like, a good window. Like, we were in the era of, like, if you're not real fucking thin, you're not pretty. Right. That was the era we were in. I mean, like, when we, like the low-rise jean era. Like, zero, like, size 00, yep. Low-rise jeans. Yep. Like, if you were going to Hollister and you were asking for, like, a 4 or a 6, you were getting looked at. Like, yeah. That's how that was back then. So, like, okay. So, but now we're trying to spew this body positivity because obviously we're all different shapes and sizes, and we're all beautiful regardless of what size we are. 100%. Like, and I love that for, like, the younger generation. Right, same. Like, I wish I'm still so mentally fucked up from my youth. But like, it's so sad because even still with all, like, what we're trying to do to, like, turn that corner and, like, appreciate our bodies and love them for what they're doing for us and what we're capable of because of them, like you still can't be too in love with your body.
Yeah.
Because then you're like you get called names.
Yeah.
I'm like,
they're like, oh, like she thinks who she is, like she's so conceited. But yeah, there's no winning with women. But we try our hardest.
We do try our hardest.
And we see you girls.
We do see you girls. Oh, but I will point out, and I will forever be indebted to Hannah because like
Hannah.
Thank you, Hannah.
You don't need to say her whole
too many names.
13 names.
Okay, so like obviously when you know you're pregnant, they tell you not to have like sushi or like alcohol. Page 51, please. Though I will tell you, I enjoyed sushi and an occasional glass of wine my second pregnancy, and all is well. Moderation is key. Bitch, I'm fucking eating sushi next pregnancy.
I told you, no, we had this conversation.
I know.
I told Katie, I said, I have a few friends who are all pregnant right now, and we were like talking about sushi and stuff, and they were like, no, it's okay. In moderation, you can have it. You shouldn't have like tuna, or you should try to avoid tuna because it's higher in mercury. But like salmon is okay. And again, anything in moderation is fine. Like you can, like, you're just as likely to get like salmonella from like chicken than you are to get like sick from like
cold cuts,
like raw sushi or cold cuts or something, which makes you feel better. Because
I mean, I will say I was pretty like I had a cup of coffee every single fucking day of my life pregnant.
Yeah, and there's
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing,
also,
and there's no way that's gonna. Whenever I end up pregnant, like I'm not gonna.
I'm not gonna get up. Like, and again, like I was considered high risk, so like I straight up said to my doctor, like I'm gonna have a cup of coffee a day. Is that okay? And they're like, as long as you don't exceed like the 12 ounces. Yeah. All right, cool, you got it. And I definitely had like salamis and like pepperoni and shit like that too. So I was like, sorry, I'm gonna nibble. Yeah, thank you.
Come on, if you guys can hear that thunder,
it's wild.
It is. Is that right? What is that?
That's my ears.
Oh, I was like, is that the brain? It is thundering though too.
It is thundering very loud.
Also because now I'm on like the whole like, oh, these girls are definitely millennials. So her best friend Sarah, Wynn's best friend Sarah, they were both their mothers were teen moms.
Yes.
And they're born like 3 weeks apart, I think. 3 weeks or like 3 months apart. So they grew up as sisters. Like their mothers like were best friends. They lived together. So they were raised like as sisters, whatever. Sarah's mother passed. Wynn was always closer with Sarah's mom. Mm-hmm. But this has nothing to do with what I'm about to read. I've just been trying to explain Sarah. What'd you just do?
I hit my head against the microphone.
Anyway.
Interrupting.
Sarah's just like us. She's wearing biker shorts and a cute oversized sweater with the word Belarus written across it. It's from her favorite book. It's from a favorite book of hers. But if I ask, we'll never get out of here on time. I like I know some people like don't like references like that.
I like them,
but I think like when it's subtle like that, it's cute.
Yes.
Like, and I'm like, oh, like we're all like right now. I'm literally wearing biker shorts and an oversized Hunt Atlar t-shirt.
I'm wearing biker shorts and an oversized Taylor Swift sweatshirt. Call us basic.
Honestly, like the word basic, I know has negative connotation, but I'm basic as fuck and I'm proud as fuck about it. Things that are basic, they're basic because they're popular, and things that are popular, like they're popular for a reason.
That, and also just like I don't have a sense of fashion. Like I'm not fashion savvy. Like someone needs to dress me. I like my go-to is athleisure. Like I don't give a fuck. Like this is what I'm comfortable wearing in. What I'm wearing, whatever. I can't fucking talk. You know what I'm trying to say. This is just who I is. I
grew up wearing biker shorts and oversized t-shirts, and then like that went out of style. Now it's back in, so I'm like,
one style that I'm happy it came around.
Also, okay, so Bo is like a nerd to the extreme. Like he like loves like Star Trek and Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and like all that shit and comic books. And he's out, like he's like traveling for work, and a comic book arrives, and she's like, I'm just gonna read it, and then she goes. Then I'm spending a little over $3 to download issue 181 onto my phone, all for the sake of getting to know Bo and his interests better, of course. Not at all to see the horniest fuck aliens.
I do have a bone to pick with Wynn, aka also Hannah. I need to know if you like ketchup.
Oh,
because I want to fucking.
I have that.
232. I've really been craving ketchup. Just ketchup, Bo asks over his shoulder, walking down the hall towards his bedroom. Yes, in a cup, preferably. Bringing these since we skipped last night. He's like, he's holding a box of cards, and he stops still and he goes, Did you just say a cup? Ew. Fucking ew. I was gagging. I was dry heaving.
If I was Bo, I would have kicked her right out of my house.
Same,
I would have said,
you're
bitch,
fucking done.
I don't have anything to do with you or that spawn of Satan in you. Because no person is allowed to do
fucking ketchup, let alone ketchup out of a cup.
That's why Katie and I, that's always why Katie and I are friends, because we both agree.
Ketchup is the devil. I used to always say, like, if I hate something, like truly hate something, I'd be like, I hate it more, and I would rather eat like ketchup and steak.
Yeah,
and that means something.
Like, oh yeah, I was like, I know I had it, because he was like, hey, she was like, he's making fun of her. Yeah. She's like, hey, like they'll hear you, don't mock them. And he's like, kid, tell your mom you want ice cream or pineapple juice or hell pickles. Ketchup is a weird choice. Yeah, it is. It's actually weird choice. It's disgusting.
I pray my next pregnancy I do not have a weird craving to ketchup. I will need to be strapped down on the table and like smacked.
Yeah. Ugh. Wait, okay, Katie and I had this conversation with our husbands one day, and they like they're just annoying. So when all four of us are together, it's like the two of them against the two of us.
Yes,
always. And like we can like just be like, oh, the sky's blue, and they'll be like, you guys are stupid. The sky's green. What are you talking about? Like that's just like they're toddlers.
Yes, they're children.
So Katie and I had this conversation when Leo was born. We were like, it's so crazy that like you created your future grandchildren, because like all girls are born with like the eggs that they're gonna have for their like the rest of their life.
Yes.
And the boys were like, yeah, well then but if it was a boy you would have created his balls too. And they're like, no, like
you don't get it.
Once you ejaculate once, and like those sperm are gone.
Yes.
Like girls don't like keep reproducing eggs, like you only get X amount, whatever.
Yes.
We had the whole conversation. So in the book he says, you know what I found out the other day? If the baby has ovaries, that means I'm carrying all of their future kids too. I'd be like a Russian nesting doll of people right now. And he goes, I never thought of that. We've created a whole new line of people, potentially a family tree. We could have descendants. Like, I'm
it's
like,
so
yes,
true, though, yeah.
Bo gets it.
Yeah.
Not our dumb husband. And then Bo's dad comes to visit.
Oh, I loved him.
First of all, like French, angel. Apparently the hottest man that anybody has ever seen.
May we see him?
I was waiting.
Who'd you base this off of?
I was waiting for Wynn's mom to make a move on
Same. Him. I was like, here she comes.
Yeah.
And she kind of did.
I
think it's very subtly, but like it's more of like, wow, you're hot. Let me just chit chat with you.
Yeah.
But I also love how like when Bo's talking about the cancer, like he didn't tell his dad at all until it came time to like the amputation, because he's like, I don't know if I'm gonna like make it or not.
Yeah.
And I love how like his dad basically was like, what the fuck, and like just gets on a plane and like comes immediately. But I'm like
any parent would.
Like any parent would, but also just like I love the response of like what the fuck?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like my kid's about to have a fucking amputation, and then like lives in America with him for a little while to help him recover. And again, like that just
Canada. They're
Canada. I'm sorry. Whoops, my bad. I'm sorry. No offense. I just base everything in America. That's where I reside.
That's where we are.
It goes back to how Wynn's mom sucked ass. And no offense to her. Like I think she was only able to give what she gave because like that's all she was capable of.
Yes.
In her way, and she didn't mean bad by it, but that's all she could give Wynn.
Yeah.
Whereas like you see a dad who had no idea his kid has cancer and just stopped life, jumped on a plane, went to Canada, took care of his son for however many months he was there. Like it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, and I think because Wynn and Sarah, like their mom, so June and Sarah's mom's name is Marcy.
Same June, time, I
think because Marcy was more of like the maternal.
Yes.
Like I think that June was probably like the more like fun parent and like whatever. And then when Marcy passed, and it was like Wynn only had June, so they don't have a great relationship, but they do have a relationship. Which I think is very realistic as well. Like, I mean, I have a great relationship with my mom, so I can't speak to that, but I do know people like who like love their parents and are close with them, but also like cannot be with like when June came to visit for the baby shower, it was enough time. Yeah. Like I love my mother, but I do not want her to live here or be here.
But
like,
again,
that often.
Realistic. Not every person in this world has like
a best friend that's like their mom.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or the mom that's like so non-fucking existent that like they hate each other. There's no, yes, there are extremes, but there's a lot of like
in between
gray areas also. So I feel like this was like a very well-rounded, like, a lot of people could probably relate to it in a couple different ways.
100%.
I fucking devoured this book. Like, it was one of those books where, like, I started, I was like, oh, I'm gonna read this and another book at the same time, and I just read this in one sitting. I will say it helped because I have anxiety. If no one knows that, you haven't been listening to our podcasts. So
this is your first time here.
If it's your first time here, welcome. I have fucking anxiety. So I was up one night from, like, I think it was like 1 to 4. Pre-tell, no fucking clue. My anxiety hits hard at night, and I finished this whole book.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say I read like 90% of it. I feel like on Friday, and then Saturday I had plans like all day, and Sunday morning I woke up and I finished it. So like I would have finished it Saturday morning if I wasn't out for 12 hours.
It was an easy read, but it was a very good read.
I just want to read one more quote because I really loved it. It's when they are admitting that they love each other.
Yes.
And he says, I love you. I love you so much. It makes me feel like I've hated everything else in my life up until now. I just, like, love that.
What an angel.
Like, I want my husband to feel like that.
Yeah. Tom!
I'm going to text and be like, do you love me so much that you feel like you hate everything else in your life?
Did you hear that? Oh, I thought he opened the door and be like, what?
I would ask for Tom to be like, of course.
Tom would say, of course, to Teresa would be like, you, me.
Kitty was like, I told him that you were here to go put like underwear on, and I was like, he didn't have to on my account.
Well, because it was pouring down south. He was at a golf outing, so he just like literally came home stripped, put on like a pair of shorts, and I was like, T's coming over. He was like, all right, I'll put on underwear before she comes here.
Yeah. It's funny though, because I would be like, I would scream and like cover my eyes. I'm like,
no, don't show me.
But I like to make jokes.
You do.
But yeah, obviously,
I gave this 5 stars.
I gave it 4.5, and I don't know why. In my head, I'm giving it 4.5.
Okay. I mean, hey, to each their own. I did make a TikTok. It's going to be posted tonight about books that I've been that I went feral over, I should say. And this is on them.
Yeah.
This is on it. I don't have words today. Man, I don't have words any week.
I was going to say, I feel like this has actually been like the most we've been, though, like coherent.
Correct. With like the right names and everything, too.
Honestly, the right names.
Who the fuck are we?
The synopsis was like very clear and concise. Guys.
Yeah, you rock that synopsis, girl.
I'm having a day, I guess.
I wonder, I need someone to confirm. So we live in the Northeast, aka New Jersey, aka fucking Rat Race Central. Mm-hmm. So when I lived in South Carolina, everyone's obviously slower. It's the South. I also learned that you have to go slow because it's so fucking hot down there that you have to move at a snail's pace.
Yes.
Obviously, everyone's like nicer. No offense to the people of the North. Like, it's the truth. So we're just going to say how it is.
Yeah.
I wonder, though, because we're very fast-paced up here. Like, I don't know about you, but I feel like my brain is working faster than, like, what can get out of my mouth.
Yes.
Like, not right now, but, like, sometimes, like, I can tell that I'm already on, like, another task, even though before I finish, like, the task I'm doing at hand.
Yeah.
And I do wonder if we stumble over a lot of our words and, quote-unquote, don't have the right words of the day because our brains are just moving a mile a minute.
No,
and we're too excited to talk about other things, so we want to keep going.
I think that that's true.
Oh my god, call me a fucking like psychologist or something like that, or
Dr. Katie.
I have enough fucking debt to consider myself.
Anyway,
if I went to med school, I'd be one by now.
Honestly, that would be so exciting. I told Gail the other day, I was like, I think that like I should just go back to school and become a nurse, which like I don't want to be a nurse at all. I don't know like why I said it. He was like, I feel like you'd be a really great nurse. Like that would be great. And I was like.
I mean, at least he was talking you up. That's pretty good. If I turned
no, but
around,
like I was like, who's first of all one who's paying for it? Two, like, you think that I don't know people? No,
I don't care about blood and guts. It's like
human feces.
Yes,
people who smell.
That too.
Like dirty
people.
Like maybe if I was like, I don't know, like okay, when I go get my iron infusions, like the nurses are so great and like they're just like hooking people up to IVs all day, but it's like depressing because I'm not like terminally ill, but there's a lot of people in the infusion center that are very sick and it's really sad, but like I could do that all day.
So when I was younger I was more of a cold stone bitch.
Yeah. Everybody was, because you were like, wow, yeah, they mix it right in front of you.
But I will say, when I first was deciding to go to grad school, I applied to a nursing program.
Like the ice cream cold stone?
No, that's why I was going to let that go.
Yeah, I was like, why did we talk about ice cream now?
Did you see my face?
I was like, wait.
Like, what are you fucking talking about? No, it was a cold stone bitch.
No, a stone cold bitch.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, I don't know why we're moving to ice cream, but yeah, everybody like Cold Stone as kids.
fucking getting here?
I'm a cold stone bitch.
I think we should change it. I kind of like it better.
I mean, I am a cold stone bitch, and I mean it in the literal way.
You used to eat it as a child. I'm lactose intolerant now. So.
Anyway.
I don't know. I had like a fucking like nothing affected me. I was applying to nursing programs because I wanted to do nursing for pediatric oncologist patients.
No.
Like, who the fuck am I? I would never be able to do that now.
No. I mean, you have to be like a certain kind of person.
And I fucking commend those people.
They deserve all the awards in the world. Too depressing.
Same. The only thing that I really do think I missed my calling with was being a medical examiner.
I wish that I was a dermatologist. Mm-hmm. 1, I can give myself Botox.
That too.
2, I love popping pimples.
Like when I go to the dermatologist for my hand, I will try to see if I can send you a video.
Yeah, please.
Like, listen, Linda, I gotta send my bestie a video of me
so
my hand open.
Every time I've had something like cut off, like I always watch or like need to see it after if it's in a spot that I can't see it. But I had this like bump on my finger for like a long time, and it just like was in like the way of like my rings and stuff. So I went to the dermatologist, and he's like, "Oh, it's probably just like a little cyst." He's like, "You could just come in here and we'll like cut it and like whatever." Every time I've had a cyst removed, they do like a little like cut and then like kind of pop it out.
Yes.
This wasn't a cyst. I forget what it was called, but they had to like cut like the
around
skin
it and like take it out
and take like
the root
and take like the skin off.
Ooh.
And like I don't know where they must have thrown it away, but I was expecting like a cute little cut with like a little cyst pop. So I'm watching and I'm like, that they're kind of a lot more. And then I'm like, is that my bone? And I'm like starting to get like a little nauseous. And I was like, I don't know if I can watch this anymore. I had like 9 stitches.
Damn.
Across my middle finger. And then I had to go back to work. Because I was like, oh, it's just going to be a little thing. And then like my hand's all numb and I'm like...
typing.
Yeah. Anyway, your cyst is an actual cyst. My doctor lied to me.
I'm curious. I can't wait to see how they take this one out. Because it's like in the weirdest spot. The side of my joint.
It's going to definitely just be like recovery. Like the recovery is going to be weird.
Yeah. Good thing I'm not a right-handed person.
Yeah, that's true. I actually did notice this about you when we went to Orange Theory on Friday. Like, you always started on your left side with like
Well, you know,
obviously. But I was like, when we were doing the step ups, I was like, I would start on my right, and then I like looked at you and I was like, she's starting on her left. And I was like, well, duh, but also
like, but it's so funny too because like even like the instructor like, all right, you're gonna start on your right hand side, then move to your left. I'm like, well, no, I'm gonna start on my fucking left.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna do what I want.
As long as you're doing both sides.
I'm doing both sides, but I always start on my left. It's a natural instinct.
Yeah, it is. Next week we have a Spilling the Tea episode.
Yes. And
then we're doing A Curse of Dark and Lonely.
Yes.
And then it's October.
So we're going to talk about some things. Teresa, do you want to tell us about your giveaway? Do you not want to talk about it right now?
No, I mean, I can talk about it now because I feel like...
We're going to talk about it during the Spilling the Tea episode too.
I'll say the podcast listeners will get the 411 before because I don't have the books yet.
That's true.
So I'm waiting for those to deliver on Thursday.
Okay.
So you guys are hearing it first. We're doing a hockey romance giveaway because hockey season starts 1 month from yesterday, I believe, the 10th. So it's 5 hockey books, some hockey themed stickers. So stay tuned to see what they are and for your chance to win.
Yeah.
It'll probably be posted over the weekend.
Okay. I'm very excited for you. But she sparked something in me. So because like hockey is her favorite and spooky season's my favorite.
Yeah.
So I think because Teresa's such a kind soul and started this, I'm going to copy her. Not with hockey books, but I think in October, I'm going to do a spooky, witchy book giveaway.
Yeah.
Maybe not as lavishing as Teresa's hockey giveaway, but there'll be something.
Honestly, it only ended up being that many because the books were cheaper. Some of the books were cheaper than I was anticipating.
Oh, that's always nice. I guess I could do that too. Look at the price points.
Yeah. I mean, there are 2 books that I didn't do that I took out that were actually like $8. And I went for like one because I was like, who hasn't read? Like, I wanted to do books that like I love and also books that I'm like, maybe not everybody has read them. I feel like 2 of them, Play With Me by Becca Mack. Sorry, I mean, I'm going to spoil 2 of them. And then Mile Habitless Humber, I feel like are very popular.
Yes.
But that's what I was like, I had like The Deal and like Icebreaker, but I was like, I feel like when you say hockey romance, those are like 2 of the first books people like think of.
True.
So I was like, not those. So those aren't on it. Like I said, stay tuned. I don't know. Maybe this weekend I'll post. We'll see.
So cute, so cute.
But yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, there's really really not much else out there. We have to put together a October
schedule. Calendar. Yeah. Which we haven't done yet because all the new releases, like,
there's so fucking much coming out in October.
There's so, like, that's the thing. Like, I'm like, oh, like, we can do, like, Caught Up by Liz Tombert, or we can do, like, Hopeless by Elsie Silver. Like, I'm like, we could do The Curse of True Love, or we could just do, like, I don't
even know why this is going to come out of my mouth right now, but smack me if you want to. Okay, let's talk about this. Well, we actually don't have to talk about this on camera.
You guys are going to have to stay tuned because we're not going to spoil what our October calendar is going to look like until we actually know what it's going to look like.
There's no point for you guys to listen to our internal monologues. Unless you want to hear them?
Probably.
Let us know.
Probably. Anyway, that's what we have for you today. Obviously, Katie, send us off.
That was a vibrator.